Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharya Nirvisesa Sunyavani Paschatya Deshitani Tirandasya Gyanam Sarakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Bhakti Swahantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamana Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagratam Sahana Raghunatam Vidantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhano Sute Devi Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from the S.Bhagavatam, Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 22, Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the four Kumaras, and Sloka number 30. Indriyai Visaya Kristair Akshiptam Jayatam Mana Chetanam Bharati Buddhe Stambastoyam Ivagradha Indriyai Visaya Kristair Akshiptam Jayatam Mana Chetanam Bharati Buddhe Stambastoyam Ivaraja. Somebody else? Indriya Visaya Krishna Mataji.
Indriya Visaya
Krishna
Akshiptam Jayatam Mana
Akshiptam Jayatam Mana
Chetanam Bharati Buddhe Sambastoyam Ivagradha
Sambastoyam Ivagradha. What formal meaning? Indriyai, by the senses. Vishaya, the sense objects. Akristai, being attracted. Akshiptam, agitated. Jayatam, always thinking of. Manaha, mind. Chetanam, consciousness. Karate, becomes lost. Buddhe, of intelligence. Stamba, big straws. Toyam, water. Iva, like. Radat, from the lake. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When one's mind and senses are attracted to sense objects for enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. As a result of continually thinking of sense objects, one's real consciousness almost becomes lost, like the water in a lake that is gradually sucked up by the big grass straws on its bank. Everybody please repeat after me. When one's mind and senses are attracted to sense objects for enjoyment, The mind becomes agitated as a result of continually thinking of sense objects. One's real consciousness almost becomes lost, like the water in a lake that is gradually sucked up by the big grass strews on its bank. Purport. In this verse, it is very nicely explained how our original Krishna consciousness becomes polluted and we gradually become almost completely forgetful of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. In the previous verse, it is recommended that we should always keep in touch with the devotional service of the Lord, so that the blazing fire of devotional service can gradually burn into ashes material desires, and we can become liberated from the repetition of birth and death. This is also how we can indirectly keep our staunch faith in the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the mind is allowed to think for sense gratification continuously, it becomes the cause of our material bondage. If our mind is simply filled with sense gratification, even though we want Krishna consciousness, by continuous practice, we cannot forget the subject matter of sense gratification. If one takes up the sannyas order of life, but is not able to control the mind, he will think of objects of sense gratification, namely family, society, expensive house, etc. Even though he goes to the Himalayas or the forest, his mind will continue thinking of the objects of sense gratification. In this way, gradually, one's intelligence will be affected. When intelligence is affected, one loses his original taste for Krishna consciousness. The example given here is appropriate. If a big lake is covered all around by long kusa grass, just like columns, the waters dry up. Similarly, when the big columns of material desire increase, the clear water of consciousness is dried up. Therefore, these columns of kusa grass should be cut or thrown away from the very beginning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed that if from the very beginning we do not take care of unwanted grass in the paddy fields, the fertilizing agents of water will be used by them, and the paddy plants will dry up. The material desire for sense enjoyment is the cause of our fall down in this material world. And thus we suffer the threefold miseries and continuous birth, death, old age, and disease. However, if we turn our desires toward the transcendental loving service of the Lord, our desires become purified. We cannot kill desires. We have to purify them of different designations. If we constantly think of being a member of a particular nation, society, or family, and continuously think about them, we become very strongly entangled in the conditioned life of birth and death. But if our desires are applied to the service of the Lord, they become purified. And thus we become immediately freed from material contamination. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Indriyai Visaya Kristai Akshitang Jayatam Mana Chetanam Harate Buddhe Stambas Toyam Iva Rada. So this material body is composed of 8 material elements, 5 gross. Bumir apo nano bayo kamano budir evacha ahankara iti yame vina prakriti ashtida. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, sky, mind, intelligence, and ego. 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. The soul, the jiva, is embodied into this material form that we have. According to the desires and the activities that we perform from the past, we acquire this body. That's why we are all individually very unique, very different. Even twins, identical twins, we say Siamese twins. Both have physical, almost physically they are the same, but the character of these twins are different. Different kind of thinking, different kind of mannerism, different kind of way how they react to certain situations, because we're all individuals. Now, the gross elements, they change. At the time of death, we leave them behind. This body. That's why when a person died, one will say, he's gone. He left. But the body is still there. Who is gone? Who is left? Is the soul. However, along with the soul, the individual jiva, the mind, intelligence, and ego goes along with the jiva, with the soul. So birth after birth, as long as we are here in this material world, the mind, the intelligence, and the ego are kind of like going together. I was just reading this morning that the soul is a mind. Soul is intelligence. The soul has its own identity. We're all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. We're all fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. But at the same time, the mind that we have right now and the intelligence that we have right now and the ego that we have right now are polluted. You know what I mean by polluted? It's like the air in Delhi. You see, it looks like fog in the morning, but it's not fog. It's smog. Smog means a lot of poison. Actually, we're breathing poison now. One of the most polluted places in the world is Delhi, Mexico, New York, cleaner a little bit. Most polluted places in the world are where most of the people are coming together. So many cars. Just imagine 10 years from now, what will it look like, Delhi? Especially with the cars, with the pollution. So right now, our mind is polluted. We have what you call polluted mind, polluted intelligence, and polluted ego, upadhi. from the previous verse mentions upadhi, designation. We identify with the body. Uh, I am such and such. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm an Indian, I'm a Chinese, I'm a Filipino, American, Hindu, Christian, Muslim. Just like the other day, there was a big bomb in the Red Fort. That was because of the bodily identification. We're all parts and parcels of Krishna. We all have the same common father. But the soul, having come in contact with the material energy, becomes polluted. The soul cannot be polluted. It is the misidentification with the body as the self. The soul is always pure. Yes? According to the Bhagavad Gita, you cannot cut into pieces, you cannot burn by fire, you cannot wet by water. But it is the body which is the pollution. It is the mind which is the polluted one. It is the intelligence which is the polluted one. It is the ego which is polluted. So we have to purify this. It says in the Bhagavad Gita that the senses are the external manifestation of the soul. The connection between the senses and the soul is the mind. How we use these senses, the mind dictates. If the mind is sharp, if the mind is, of course, senses are lower. Higher than the senses is the mind, and higher than the mind is the intelligence. Yes, the intelligence has to be sharpened by the sword of knowledge. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, armed with the sword of knowledge, cut this attachment towards the bodily designation or affection, relationship. So the mind, we've read also somewhere, the mind is like the sixth sense. Somewhere we've read the mind is the 11th sense. The mind is the central station whereby by using properly the intelligence, then the senses also will be able to properly, it'll become purified. The first and foremost duty of a person who wants to be a first-class man is to control the mind. Without controlling the mind, there is no such thing as spiritual life. There is no difference between a man and a dog. If a man cannot control his senses and the mind, he is no better than the dog. It's the same. The dog will bark, rock, rock, rock. Get out of my territory. I am a dog. I'm going to bite you. The person is also identifying with his body. Who say the same thing. It's like, when we go to travel many countries all over the world, we pass through the border, customs, the immigration. Who are you? What is your purpose? Why are you coming here? How long are you going to be here? But these are all belonging to Krishna, belonging to God. Because of designation, because of geographical boundaries, we identify with my country, with my nation, with my society, with my family, and so on. So the mind is the first thing that we need to control. Prabhupada says it's not possible to control the mind. Maharaj, you're saying we should control the mind. But then there's no possible to control the mind. How is that? Materially, we cannot control the mind. Spiritually, we can control the mind. Only by becoming Krishna conscious, we can control the mind. And one who's trying to control his mind and his senses is first class man. This is what you call an Aryan. You know, an Aryan, civilized man. We may have polished animal life, like so many advancement, technology, and so on. Huh? But if the purpose of human form of life is not going to be achieved, then this is what you call polished animal life. What is polished animal life? There'll be no difference between animal and human form. So the first condition is to become a first class man, a Brahmana. Sama means controlling the mind. Dhamma means controlling the senses. One can become a Brahmana but not be a Vaishnava. One can be a Brahma Bandhu, fallen Brahmana. In India, there is this misunderstanding that, oh, if my father is a Brahmana, therefore I'm also a Brahmana, even without having any qualification of a Brahmana. But a Vaishnava is automatically a Brahmana. Brahmana, he sees everyone in equal vision. Was that vidya vinaya sampane brahmani gavihastini suni chaiva sapakecha pandita samadarsina. He sees everyone in equal vision because he sees the Paramatma. A person whose senses are fully under control, the mind is peaceful. In the world, no one teaches us how to control the mind. If you go to a school, to a university, do they teach you how to control the mind? Huh? There's no school, isn't it? Teaching how to control the mind. When the senses are fully under control, that means using everything in Krishna's service. This is how we can control the mind. The only way how we can control the mind. The mind becomes peaceful. And when the mind becomes peaceful, it says the super soul is already rich. We'll be able to hear what the Paramatma is telling us. We'll be able to understand what to do and what not to do because of the Paramatma. We can hear. Usually, the uncontrolled mind is what we are hearing. If the senses are uncontrolled, then it is the mind who's dictating, you should do this and you should not do this. What's that? Rejecting and accepting. This, the function of the mind is rejecting, accepting, and willing. Then it will be executed. So that's why one time one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada says, oh, sometimes I'm in Maya. When one is in Maya, that means his mind is not controlled. So Prabhupada says, no. Sometimes you are in Krishna, and most of the times you are in Maya. So this is the initial stage. We are trying to become Krishna conscious because of our material desires. It's very difficult to focus. And it happens to everyone, especially to grihastas. because they have this license for sense enjoyment. And sometimes, in the excuse that I have a license for sense enjoyment, it overcomes their desires and they fall into Maya more and more. At least the brahmacharis and sannyasis, because they're engaged 24 hours, should be in Krishna consciousness, then they have to control their mind. They have to control their senses. They have to study the sastras. Brahmacharis means sharpening the intelligence, cultivation of knowledge. This is the meaning of this scholar, Lal Kapra. But the grihastas has to also control their mind. They have to control their senses. Otherwise, they are grihamedi. Grihamedi means sense enjoyers. It's not an ashram. Brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram. Grihamedi is not an ashram. Ashram means order in spiritual life. So, one has to be very, very careful. Otherwise, we have to accept everyone has some difficulties controlling the mind. It is not so easy, especially when it comes to chanting of the holy name of the Lord. How many times we've heard, how can I control my mind? My mind is going all over the universe when I chant the holy name of the Lord. Do you have that experience? Or maybe you go to different universe. The mind goes to different universe, not just within this universe. No, because the desire has to be curtailed as well. But there is never a time that we become desireless. We just have to not withdraw the desire, but replace the desire from material to spiritual. We cannot eliminate desire. Only a dead person doesn't have any desire. As long as we have this body, there is always a demand of the body. There's a demand of the senses. There's a demand of the mind. The intelligence can be misused. So many intelligent people in the world, but they misuse their intelligence as well. How to live comfortably, how to live luxuriously, how to be happy, but in a wrong way. Huh? So Srila Prabhupada mentions that one should try as much as possible to dovetail one's desires according to what Krishna's desires are and what the spiritual master's desires are. Because the desire of the spiritual master is for the disciple to be Krishna conscious. The spiritual master doesn't have any other desire except the same desire as Lord Krishna's desire, to help the conditioned souls to go back home, back to Godhead. So if we follow both the Guru's order and the orders, instructions coming from the Supreme Lord, from the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, they will be able to control the mind. Otherwise, it's not possible. Let me read something. Oh yes, we're thinking that we already control the mind. As soon as we think that we control the mind, that means we're under the control of the mind. We should be Goswamis. Prabhupada says, I want all of my disciples, both girls and boys, because he used to call his disciples boys. My dear boys and girls, because he's like the father and the disciples are his children. So he says, I want both my disciples, boys and girls, to be Goswamis. Goswami. Swami means master and Go means senses. He wants everyone to be master of the senses, master of the mind. In spirit, in spirit. Even the grihastas, they have to be, have you heard the word grihasta sannyasi? Yeah, there is a grihasta brahmachari. Grihasta brahmachari means grihastas who regulate their life in such a way that, yes, according to Bhagavad Gita, sex I am, not contrary to religion. So they regulated also their lifestyle. Our Guru Maharaj, especially, he will ask his Grihastha disciples to be very strict in their sadhana. Be strong in sadhana, chant attentively, and read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam every day, and come to the mandir. Do some service at least once a week for those who live very far away. Uh, yes, we should all be like sannyasi. Sannyasis means engaged 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. And it's possible. Even work, even when you go to work, the grihastas, that is also bhakti yoga. Maharaj, how is that? I'm going to work. Yes, if you're always thinking of Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the verse, Man mana bhavamad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru, it was mentioned twice. Because the whole purpose of being Krishna conscious is always to remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And it is possible. In every walks of life, in every ashram, it is possible. One may ask, so how can I remember Krishna even at work? Well, if you remember some of the pastimes of the Lord, it's like here, we're surrounded. Where were we the other day? In Faridabad, yes, today, and we were in Rohini, and we were also in Dwarka. Along the walls, it's like here, you have so many paintings of Lord Chaitanya. Here, Lord Krishna. So unlimited pastimes. You can remember pastimes of the Lord. You can also remember the instructions from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Or if you have the opportunity is given that you can chant the holy name while at work, that is very good. I know a god brother, he works as a security guard in a company, Karmi company, and he is able to chant his rounds. He's able to chant the holy name. He has this clicker, what do you call this, counter. He walks around as a security, but he's chanting the holy name. Or if you'll be able to hear the lectures of Srila Prabhupada or his bhajans. Oh. So yes, we should be very careful that when we chant the holy name of the Lord, we are not watering the weeds, the unwanted weeds that is surrounding the Bhaktilata creeper. At the time of initiation, the spiritual master planted the seed of bhakti, Bhaktilata Beach. And according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Bhaktilata beach should be given water so that the Bhaktilata beach will grow and grow and grow and ultimately pierce the universe and ended up at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So the watering process is the Sravanam Kirtanam, the hearing and chanting. So we have to chant attentively, chant focus, chant without any distractions, avoid the 10 offenses, and especially Sadhu Ninda, Vaisnav Ninda, Vaisnava Parad, or Guru Avagya, disobeying the orders of the spiritual master. That is the topmost offense. Because if we are not careful, then material desires, see, along while chanting, both material desires and spiritual desires becomes fulfilled. Chanting of the holy name of the Lord is like Kalpa Vriksha tree. In Vrindavan, all the trees are called Kalpa Vriksha tree, a wish-fulfilling desire tree. But one must be also qualified. As Prabhupada says, first deserve, then desire. You may desire to be like a king, but do you have the qualifications to become a king? Then you cannot become a king. You cannot be a Maharaj. In India, they call Maharaj. Jai Ho. Maharaj ki Jai Ho. In India, right? But now they don't have any more power. But in those days, Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Pritha Maharaj, they're all kings, they're all qualified to lead. So now, if we desire materially and chanting the holy name of the Lord, and the material desires are becoming fulfilled, we may be thinking that let me chant more Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that my material desires will increase and will become fulfilled. So that is wrong. According to Madhurya Kadambini by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, yes, these material desires and spiritual desires go side by side when we chant the holy name of the Lord. So we would like to chant more because I'm getting material desires becoming fulfilled. So let me chant more so that my material desires more will become fulfilled. So what happens, it says in the purport that it will suck up the water, which means that the original seed of bhakti that was planted by the spiritual master in the heart of the disciple will ultimately become dried up. Because the unwanted desires, they get nourished. They're the ones who's getting the nourishment. So what's going to happen to the Bhaktilata beach? It may died up. Dried up means died up, ultimately. Especially when chanting is not attentive, not focused, and side by side committing Vaisnava Parad. So one must be very careful. There is no time that we will not have any desires. As long as we're having this body, we will have material desires. That's normal. So material desire, we dovetail it to Krishna's service. We have cars, yeah, but we don't go sightseeing all over. We use the car going to work, going home. Go to the temple, come back home. Go to work, come back home. Go to the temple, come back home. Right? We don't use anywhere and everywhere nightclub hopping or something. No, we use it for Krishna's service. We have also buildings, temples. We use it for Krishna's service. Everything. Our home also can be used for Krishna's service. Invite your friends, your relatives, do some kirtan, read Bhagavad Gita. Everything can be dovetailed in Krishna's service. So we have to purify our desire. The mind is not the master, it is the Lord's instrument. The mind is like a repository. Is the place where we can have what do you call? It's like a memory bank. A memory bank. We don't want it to crash. If there's going to be something in the memory bank, it should be Krishna conscious memories. I was reading the other day, at the time of death, when a person died, he will still be conscious for 7 minutes. And he will remember the memories, the good memories that he had in that lifetime. 7 minutes. We have 7 minutes to remember either Krishna or Maya. So if we have a lot of good memories, festivals, devotee association, having darshan of the Lord, having doing our puja with our deities. Just now remembering Guru Maharaj, we had that video of Guru Maharaj while sleeping and he's doing artik. Yeah, you've seen that video? Huh? So he's always fully Krishna conscious. So hope against hope that we will remember Krishna in everything that we did in the service of the Lord at the time of death. Then rest assured we'll go back home, back to Godhead. But we have to train our mind to always think of Krishna. If we think of our spiritual master at the time of death, we also go back home, back to Godhead. If we think of the Vaishnava, like say we have what's that? Best friend forever. What's that?
Best friends forever.
Yeah, best friends forever. BFF.
Yes.
So if you have a best devotee friend forever, BDFF, and you remember that devotee friend at the time of death, you also go back home, back to Godhead. So we have to train our mind. How the mind can be controlled? It's like a wild animal. Guru Maharaj gave this example, and Prabhupada gave this example also. It's like the circus. How do they tame the lion? Just by is it the stick that controls the lion? No, it is not. What they do is that they starve the lion. They starve the lion. And then, when the lion is really starved, they will give something to eat. They will give some meat to eat. And now the lion will think that He is my master because he's feeding me. Yeah? So now the lion will be trained like that. That whenever he sees the master, the trainer, he is my master. So whatever the master told him to do, he used the stick. What is the stick to the lion? It's nothing. You can be eaten up by the lion in 1 second. Huh? No, it is not the stick. It is by seeing the master. So the master is the living being. If you tell the mind, sit down here for some time. Let me chant the holy name of the Lord. Don't disturb me now, okay? Let me just chant. I will entertain you after my rounds is over. It's like Haridas Thakur. He was being enticed. He was being allured. A prostitute wanted to attract him to enjoy. But what Haridas Thakur did? Just sit down here. Let me finish my rounds. After my rounds is over, I will be with you. So there was like a challenge uh, that was given uh, that in 3 nights, or in 3 nights, that Haridas Thakur will fall down. But then those 3 nights, Haridas Thakur says, just sit down, sit down, sit down. What happened to the prostitute? She became a devotee. She's the one who gave up because she became, you may say, I will use the word infected, infectious. A Krishna conscious person infects people, gives people Krishna consciousness. So the prostitute became a devotee. So the mind is the same thing. Ignore the mind and do our duty, do our service, do our what is meant for us to do to become Krishna conscious, and then ultimately the mind will become shanti, will become peaceful. So this is the process. Antidote. I use the word antidote again. Antidote means the remedial measure. It's like when you're sick, the antidote is you take medicine. So the antidote for clearing up the mind from becoming or being polluted is that daily Guru Seva, service to Srila Prabhupada, especially in the month of Prabhupada distribution, book distribution marathon. If we absorb ourselves in how I can distribute more and more books every day, there's no room for Maya. I remember when we used to do a book distribution marathon, we live in a traveling van in America. We don't have any other meditation. We sleep with the van, we sleep with the books, we eat with the books, we do our Mangal Artik with the books. It's like, for over 1 month we are with the books. That should be our meditation in this book distribution month. How can I distribute more and more books to please Srila Prabhupada, to please the spiritual master, to please Krishna? There is no devotee more dear to me than those who give this knowledge to others. So we will be in samadhi. Samadhi means focus, in trance. Only one duty, to always remember Krishna and to never forget him. And book distribution marathon in this month, we started in in East of Kailash also. We had Yagya last Sunday, and officially the marathon will start in 2 days' time, right? What is the date today? 12. So in 15th. When do you start your book distribution marathon? 15th? Yes. Officially, that means everyone here will distribute books. Officially. How many of you will be distributing Srila Prabhupada's books this coming month? Not half. Full. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Don't forget, attend Mangalartik. Not just the brahmacharis, grihastas also should have Mangalartik. And saturate ourselves in such a way that we also become absorbed in reading Srila Prabhupada's books. We should always remember that everything belongs to Krishna. He is the supreme proprietor, he is the supreme enjoyer, and he is the ultimate doer, indirectly through the material energy. We are not the doer, we are the instruments. Material energy is the doer, but ultimately, Krishna. Always cultivate dasya bhav, service attitude. One's advancement in Krishna consciousness can be measured in how he serves or she serves. One's service attitude. Yes, always glorify others' service. Don't put oneself in a position whereby he wanted to be glorified. Regulate our eating and sleeping and mating and defending. Always keep in the association of the Vaishnavas, especially those who are more advanced than we are, or at least in the same level as we are. We give association to those who are juniors than us. And ultimately here, it's amazing. It always ends up with how we chant the holy name of the Lord. Chanting of the holy name of the Lord purifies everything, clears everything, and solves all the problems. I think I'm going to stop here now, but yes, I'm going to stop here. If there's any other questions or comment. So our original Krishna consciousness is not destroyed, it just became covered up because of the mind not always thinking of Krishna and using the senses for sense enjoyment. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Shabanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare Dudaya. Love of Krishna awakens by hearing and chanting. Okay? Any other points or comment? Any question? Yes, Bhagavad Gita says, mind can be our greatest enemy and our best friend as well. Many things that we can talk about the mind, especially the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita mentions about that. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the information. You said that at the time of death, if you remember very good
Huh?
So, as you said, that if we remember the devotees at the time of death,
If we remember,
the devotees
yes.
at the time of death,
Yeah.
so we go back to God. So, what do we understand? Like, are we talking about Uttamathikari or
Well, devotee, when we say a devotee, is a pure devotee. When Prabhupada says in his books, a devotee of the Lord, that means a pure devotee. Your Guru Maharaj. Well, if if your friend is a pure devotee also, then you go back home, back to Godhead. He or she will save you from going back to the material world and take up another body. Okay? Anything else? Oh, okay, over there.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज जी।
Hare Krishna.
महाराज जी, अभी आपने जैसे बात की, you have spoken about that we should utilize our house for the service of Lord Krishna.
Yes.
Means we should organize home programs. So as we are doing the same, so while organizing the home programs, maybe happens sometime that after the Sankirtan, we are not able to serve the prasadam to all the devotees. Means sometimes it maybe happen that because of the shortage of prasad, some of the devotees are not getting the prasad. So will I be getting any aparadh?
The real prasad is the hearing and chanting. Like Parikshit Maharaj, he did not eat for 7 days. But you should have a little bit of, prasadam. It's better to cook more than exact. If you cook exact, there will always be less. So, and when this home program happens, it would be nice if everyone can bring also different items, so it will not be overburdened for the host. Hmm? And one should not expect that, like a big feast. I'm going to the program because of the prasad. That is good also. But I will go to the program because I would like to hear about the kata, the Hari kata. So I don't think it'll be a big offense. You promise that whoever did not have prasadam, you come back tomorrow. I'll make a feast.
Thank you, Maharaj. One more question is that while making prasadam at home, so what happens?
You're making us hungry now.
While making prasadam at home, what happens? Means I'm talking about myself. I don't know
Okay.
about for the others. While I start cooking, generally play some lecture or some kirtan.
Very good. Yes.
So what happens? Initially, it comes in mind that I'm making this prasadam, I'm making this book for Krishna. But
Yes.
usually, what happens while cooking, as a human being, what comes in the mind is, okay, I have to put little less spices. My son has to eat. I don't have to put extra oil. My husband
Okay.
is diabetic.
Sure,
So
sure.
how to get rid of this kind of thoughts?
No, no, no. You have to think also of who's going to eat. The preparation should be according to the person who's going to honor the prasad. So once you become used to it, you don't have to think anymore. It becomes habitual. Maybe in the beginning or first 2 or 3 cooking times that you have to cook, but after that it becomes automatic. Saying it becomes like a routine. So you don't have to think anymore. Yeah? It's like for Krishna, Prabhupada says we have to cook. In Vrindavan, they asked Prabhupada, how are we going to prepare? What are the quantities for Krishna? Prabhupada says, when we do the offering, the quantity is just like a young growing up boy. Boy is like growing up. So it's like big quantities, right? So, but if your family cannot eat that much, so you only cook certain amount, you know the amount and the whether it's too much masala or chili. No, you know already. That's okay because they have a certain type of diet. You don't cook for your own sense enjoyment. You cook so that they'll be able to serve more Krishna and live a long life. Yes? So don't put too much chili, okay? Anything else? Yes?
Please support my humble since I can this way. I want to create a program, but I cannot distribute the clothes because my parents are not allowing me to go outside.
She wants to please Prabhupada, but she cannot go out and distribute books.
My parents are not allowing to go outside.
They don't like you to go outside. But now you're outside.
I went to class.
Yeah, but so whenever you have the chance that you are outside, distribute whatever you can. All right? It doesn't have to be extensive hours, extended hours. Like when we go on book distribution, sometimes we go 8 hours, 10 hours. If you can do 1 hour, that's good.
While traveling.
Yes, anywhere, anytime. Always carry books with you, even in the metro, at school or at work, wherever you are. You meet a nice person. Yes.
Also, I have a waiting system while traveling to the temple.
What's that again? I
I
cannot.
have a waiting distance while traveling to the temple, so I left the home around 5:30 to go home somewhere, and I checked on the bus. So I do feel distracted by it.
Hmm?
There is a long distance from temple, so she
Okay.
has to take bus.
Okay.
So she gets distracted because she's in the bus. So
Okay.
what can she do to not get distracted?
Close your eyes. Or have this earplugs. Close your eyes and chant Hare Krishna. Eye is very, very dangerous. You can easily get distracted, and the ears also. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Mataji's side win this time. How about the Prabhus? No questions? Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In Bhagavad there at many places it Krishna says Prakriti is the doer. Some in some slokas it is said that it is the Jivatma is the doer. And some places
The Jiva Atma is?
is the doer.
No, he's not.
And some places it is the Paramatma.
He is not the doer. It doesn't say in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the doer. It's the material energy is the doer. We are like slaves. Have you seen the picture of in the Bhagavad Gita? A puppeteer with the strings attached to the living entities. We work, we act according to the dictations of the material energy because of the previous activities that we perform and according to our desires. So, of course, if you're in the mode of ignorance, you act according to the mode of ignorance. You cannot act according to the mode of goodness. The jiva is pure goodness, ultimately. Yeah, but how come one is in the mode passion, mode of ignorance, and one of goodness. He acts according to the dictations of the modes that he acquired from the past that he wanted to fulfill. Only act, it's still in the purified state, you will act according to Krishna's desire. You are not the doer. Krishna is the ultimate doer.
So Maharaji, if when soul is purified, at that time soul is pure, at that time Prakriti is not.
So when you go back home, back to Godhead, then you act according to the desire of Krishna. You desire to serve Krishna, but that is what Krishna wants us to do. So still, we are doing it according to Krishna's desire. Because we know now what Krishna's desire. We know what to do now. The materialists, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to control their senses. They don't know how to control their mind. But a pure devotee of the Lord, he acts according to Krishna's desire. Krishna's desire is to serve him. So automatically we serve him according to Krishna's desire.
So actually
Krishna is the ultimate doer, even in the material and spiritual world. He arranges everything for the love of the devotees increase towards him. Krishna arranged all of this. In the material world is Mahamaya. In the spiritual world is Yogamaya. We are not independent. There will be no time that we become independent, even in the liberated stage. We're still under Krishna. Okay? Is that clear? Gopeshwar, is that clear? Huh? So I'm not in control. Okay, we're not the controller. Krishna is always the supreme controller. That means we are the controlled, we are the enjoyed. There's no time that we will become the enjoyer. No. Any other points? Again? Okay, here. Okay, Mike is there. 2, last one. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, last 3 questions.
in addition, Maharaji, Maharaji, this Prabhupada mentions that we should be careful not to water the weeds instead of the beach.
Chaitanya Charitamrita says that to Sanatan Goswami. Lord Chaitanya.
May it happen sometimes that follow the principles.
Sometimes,
May it happen. Is it possible that there is sometimes sadhak is sincere and follow the principles and doing things?
that's why you need a devotee who will be able to tell you, check on you. If you think that you can do it on your own, no, it's not possible. Especially, I mentioned this in the class yesterday, or was it the other day? Oh, it was in Rohini. Now that our Guru Maharaj is not here anymore physically, one should be very careful to do things independently without consulting to a God brother or those who are more advanced than we are. We think, oh, Guru Maharaj is not here anymore physically, so I can make my own decision. No. Before you make decisions, consult someone, please. Otherwise, if you commit a mistake, it reflects to Guru Maharaj. It doesn't matter what position you are. You have to be extra careful. That's why you need a guru, Diksha Guru, and Shiksha Gurus. Now Guru Maharaj is not here. Now you need Siksha Gurus. Now you can have unlimited Siksha Gurus. If you say, oh, I don't need, I know what I'm doing, trouble. You are creating trouble for yourself. And I've seen it and I observed it. It's happening now. And it's going to happen more in the future if we don't follow this principle. Okay? No one is independent here. Only Krishna is the supreme independent. Always remember this. As soon as you think that I'll do whatever I want to do and no one should tell me what to do, that's it. That is Maya. That is the cause of one's fall down. And I've seen it. Oh, I don't want to give any example. I don't want to give any names. But I've seen it. It's happening now. We have to protect. We have to protect our Guru Maharaj. We have to protect Srila Prabhupada. We have to protect our institution in that way. Okay? That answer your question? Yes? One more and the last one here.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज। महाराज जी आपने लेक्चर के बीच में बताया कि टॉप मोस्ट अपराध जो है वो गुरु और क्या
Yeah.
मैं प्रश्न अपराध के बारे में जानना चाहूँगा कि जैसे एक सीनियर भक्त है और एक जूनियर है, तो इसके व्यवहार चलते फिरते या बातों में इस प्रकार से अपराध होते एक दूसरे के प्रति, तो सीनियर भक्त और जूनियर भक्त के एक दूसरे के मतलब बीच व्यवहार कैसा होना चाहिए ताकि इस अपराध से जानते हुए या जानते हुए जो हो जाता है उसे किस तरह से इसका व्यवहार करने का एक दूसरे के बीच किस प्रकार का होना चाहिए।
Translation.
What I think that regarding two things you mentioned, offenses.
Don't put too much in. It's too much.
Offenses. First is the Vaishnava and the Guru.
Yes. Yes.
So specifically about Vaishnava, when two devotees, when the senior and the junior, how should we deal in the situation that offenses are committed between them? So what should the ideal behavior between a junior and between a senior devotee?
It's different. A senior devotee, you should serve them. You should inquire from them submissively. And a junior than you, then you give your association. A parad is a parad. It doesn't matter to the junior or to the senior. It's the same. You don't criticize, you don't blaspheme. You don't criticize a junior devotee because the junior devotee doesn't know proper etiquette. You don't criticize a senior devotee knowingly, oh, he should know what he's doing. No. It's not our business to judge anybody. Only Guru and Krishna can judge. Translation. No purport, only translation.
जूनियर और सीनियर को देख के नहीं होता, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि जूनियर ने क्लास इसलिए अगर कोई सीनियर है आपसे आप उनका संग कीजिए, अगर कोई जूनियर है तो आप उनका संग कीजिए।
Isn't it? You should not even offend a non-devotee. Actually, everyone is a devotee. Everyone are children of Krishna. But the non-devotees, they are covered up heavily by Maya. So even non-devotees, we should be careful. Treat them. It's not that in the temple you treat everyone respectfully. And then when you go outside, you saw a sweeper in the street and you spit on the sweeper. You say, oh, very muchi. No. Without the sweeper in the street, the whole place will be full of garbage. You say Hare Krishna to them also. Okay? That is a pure devotee of the Lord. He sees everyone in equal vision. Last question here. Late breakfast this morning.
May I also say with this please? Question that if one leave the body without taking action, what happens to them?
If one leaves the body,
Without action, what happens to them?
well, you have to take birth again to take Diksha. Without Diksha, there is no connection to Krishna. You can chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but you need to receive the mantra from a bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord who is in the disciplic succession. Mantra will have effect even if you don't take initiation, but you want full effect of the mantra, which will give you love of God. And alone, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord will give you love of God. You don't need second initiation. Second initiation is if you want to worship the Lord on the altar. Yeah. You can chant the holy name of the Lord and go back home, back to Godhead. The chanting alone will give you love of God. He didn't say in the Shastra that you must get second initiation to go back home, back to Godhead. Isn't it, Gopeshwar Prabhu? Is there any statement like that? No. There's none. This is by chanting the holy name of the Lord and hearing about the name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord, you can go back home, back to God. It didn't say that you need to get second initiation. Okay? But one must get initiated. And you have to be careful in choosing the spiritual master. Even though it says, Guru is one. Because everything comes from Krishna. But there are different levels of gurus. Yeah? Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Itaigo sithana premanande. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Hari.